Hey guys, so I want to read you what I wrote. It's called My Story. I'm sorry if my camera moves a little bit. I have a cheap stand. Let me make my TV, that would be helpful. Okay. Hi, my name is Kelly and I am a recovering heroin addict. My addiction made me just about lose everything. I lost my apartment, my kids, and my marriage. I have lost the trust that my family once had in me. I started using heroin in the fall of 2013. I was in an abusive marriage. My husband wasn't only abusing me, he was also beating my son. It was so bad that I feared for our lives. If he couldn't get high, he would take it out on my son. If I wouldn't go out to try and get money or steal, he would beat me. All the times I was arrested was because he wanted me to go steal. And I knew if I said no, I would get my ass whooped. One day, he got so mad at my daughter because she locked the door when I left. And he had to get up to open the door. He got so mad that he ended up punching my daughter in the face. The next day, my daughter went to school, and it wasn't being herself, and they took her aside and asked what happened, and she began to cry and got up the courage to tell the school what had happened. DCF was already in our lives because my son wasn't growing, and we were so far into our addiction, we weren't keeping the house clean. The school ended up making a report to DCF. Then DCF called us to come to a meeting, and he wouldn't go, so he stayed home with the baby, and me and my mom went. So they told us that they were going to the house to remove the baby, and they were going to my daughter and son's school, and they were taking my 3 kids away. They asked why he didn't go to the meeting to answer to what he had done. Shortly after, our power got shut off. Because our power got shut off, we were in violation of our lease. So they told us we had to move. We went to Stratford for 2 weeks. And mind you, my husband told my mom I was on drugs to get back at me for DCF blaming him for them taking the kids. While we were in Stratford, we would go to his Uncle Johnny's house. We'd go to his house every day. One night he talked my husband into taking both of us to the ER to ask for help. No, my husband was high on Xanax, and he didn't even tell me until after the fact. The hospital didn't keep us. They fed me and gave me a list of shelters and detox places and sent us home because we weren't coming off of benzos or liquor. When we left to go to the ER, I gave his uncle my mom's cell phone number so he could update my mom if they kept us, in which they did not, but made sure I ate. So the next day, his uncle made me call some numbers, and no one had room for me. So while my husband and I were down the street down his uncle's street, his uncle called 211 and found a bed in detox and told my mom. Uncle Jay's kids came and told me that their dad wanted me. Then he said, we found you a bed and we're going to feed you, and then your mom's going to get you. So I couldn't leave this house. Uncle Jay asked if I had my ID. I said no, my husband has my wallet, So Uncle Jay's told his kids to go get my wallet. My husband refused to give it up. So I left the house and told him what was up. He wouldn't give me my ID because he just got paid for helping a friend and wanted to get high. So I left with him. Uncle Jay was pissed. So then my mom texted while we were copying and said, if you don't go today, you'll lose me forever. I told her I was busy and didn't say nothing else. In the end, I got high and then walked to my mom's house. Got into her van and left to SCRC in New Haven. That would truly be the beginning of the end. I completed my 5-day detox, went on methadone, which I'm still on 3 years later. I relapsed a bunch of times. When he learned I didn't go to rehab, he left rehab. In the end, his family sent him to South Carolina to get help. He didn't complete it. He came home the same asshole, cheated on me, and we ended up divorced. I kept using until March 25th, 2019. I had money. It was like the 3rd day of me trying to cop. Then when I woke up, it was like a switch turned off. I was like, I'm done with this runaround and the waiting game. I am done. I'm not using anymore. And I haven't. Today is, well, when I wrote this, it was the 10th. It's like the 17th right now. So it's November 17th, 2019. And on November 25th, I will be 8 months clean. So yeah, that was part of my story, I guess. Well, I didn't add in here, which I don't know why I didn't, is that I was living in Stratford after I got out of detox. My mom didn't want me in the house, really, so I lived in a tent in her backyard. I gained some trust, or it got hot or something, and she let me live in the house. I ended up stealing from them, which kind of freaking made me lose even more trust with them. Long story short, the kids were in DCF cares almost 3 years, and they were like, well, you know, they either go to your family or the kids get put up for adoption. So my sister had agreed to take the kids. Long story short, she ended up pregnant, and there's other factors on why DCF wouldn't give her the kids. So, in the meanwhile, while DCF was trying to give her the kids, I couldn't live there, my mom couldn't live there. So we bought a house in Torrington, Connecticut, which I think might have been like the best thing that we have done. So I had to switch clinics to the Torrington clinic. Immediately they put me in IOP. And I was using it for a few weeks. And then I got clean, completed IOP. Then right after I completed IOP, what did I do? I relapsed. Tested positive for fentanyl. I used, they threatened to, like, take me off the clinic and all this shit. So I was like, you know, I'll just go back to IOP or whatever. I ended up using for a few more weeks, maybe a month. And then I got clean on March 25th. And I have stayed clean since. I have earned my take-home bottles. I honestly think if I didn't come to Torrington and be in IOP twice, and the counselors at the clinic, mainly Annie and Nicole, I don't think I would be clean today. That program, even though it was mainly check-ins, but then they started doing activities with us, but the whole point of that program is you go from 10 to like 2, or 10:30 to 1:30. The point is that you're there for 3 hours, and in that 3 hours you're not getting high. And in the clinics I was in before, I started off in New Haven, then I transferred to Stratford. They didn't give a shit if you were getting high. The IOP group in Stratford, it wasn't even IOP. It was groups they had every hour on the hour, and they weren't mandatory. I come up here and then it's mandatory. And I first came up here like, oh, I don't want to do IOP, blah, blah, blah. But it really did help me. And I've met some pretty cool people in the clinic and whatnot. But yeah, that was part of my story. And maybe I'll write more, I don't know. There was another thing I typed up, but I don't know if I want to share it. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I say thank you for listening, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And again, please like and subscribe and share. And this is also going on my Facebook group, Kelly's Life as an Addict, the same as YouTube, KELLY'(S), Life as a Recovering Addict. So please, if you want to, go on Facebook like that. I also started a group, Addicts Helping Addicts. If you would like to join that, feel free to join. With all that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And remember, there is hope, and we do recover. Thanks.